Welcome back to the Amplifire, your one-stop shop for music news and journalism from an underqualified college student. My name is Jason. I have no credentials, no beef with Canadians, but a lot of free time, eh? Oh God, please don't click off the podcast after that. I wouldn't blame you though, to be honest. We're still trying to figure out the kinks. I'm still trying to tighten up that intro, but I like the bare bones of it. I think it's okay. So this podcast is being filmed Saturday, March 22nd. 2025, and that is the 1 year anniversary of Like That by Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick dropping. For those of you that don't know the significance of that song, it is when Kendrick first dissed Drake and I guess what's his name, J. Cole too, and kind of kickstarting the whole Kendrick and Drake beef that ruled 2024, probably the most substantial part of music and music media in 2024, which is kind of crazy because you think about all the artists that dropped. 2024 was kind of insane. We got Ariana Grande, we got Beyonce, we got Taylor Swift. Maybe those are just artists that are significant to me. No, that's probably what it was. But in my head, I felt like there's a lot that happened in music last year. And this is still taking the cake for the biggest thing. Because it's just the biggest, most substantial hip-hop beef of all time, really, as far as just like two giants in music, like hip-hop, yes, but just music in general, because Kendrick Lamar and Drake were low-key like the two biggest rappers in mainstream music. That's not to say that like they're the best or they're the biggest of all time, because you don't want to take that away from people that were more monumental for the culture than someone like Drake, but for what they were, I think in their respective music climates, I would go as far as to say that Kendrick and Drake were bigger, which is what made this beef bigger, because they had more mainstream appeal than hip-hop artists from, say, the 90s. And because of that, it took up more in just regular media, not even like music media, not even hip-hop niche media, just general media and the news and what was going on in pop culture. And I think you can see that in the ways that they're still being tied together in media and how their careers are still kind of reaping what they've sown from this beef. Drake is still trying to recover, and Kendrick is going on a stadium tour, which I think we all kind of know that if this beef never happened, he would not be able to do that. I'm not sure how ticket sales are doing for that. I looked recently and they dropped, the aftermarket prices dropped a little bit. So maybe it's not going to be sold out, but I mean, it probably is. Let's be real. Kendrick is one of the biggest artists right now. And also stadium tours are so weird because like, I feel like it wasn't until Taylor Swift did it with the Eras tour that people were like, hey, we put up similar numbers-ish to her. Like you do the math and you kind of think that you could sell out a stadium tour. And then I'm not really sure how other artists have done. I know Ed Sheeran did one after Taylor. And then Beyonce, I know, is doing another one with Cowboy Carter. And it's kind of been like a thing that she's like struggling to sell out tickets. But I kind of think that's because she literally went on tour like 2 years ago with Renaissance. So it's not the same novelty that comes with it as someone like Kendrick, who's doing his first ever stadium tour. Or The Weeknd, I think he already did a stadium tour. I'm not 100% sure, actually. But he's going on another one. When I think of stadium tours, I always think of people like Coldplay or like not even Maroon 5. Maroon 5 at a time would have been able to do it. These kind of like very widespread bands that have a lot of fans, so many fans that you kind of just think everyone is a fan, that you kind of think they don't really have fans because everyone is just a general fan. Like, I don't know anyone that doesn't like Coldplay. You know what I mean? But it's like me personally, I listen to Coldplay. I don't really consider myself a fan, but I would go to a Coldplay concert and know a lot of the songs. Yeah. So when you reach that level of mainstream, you know what I mean? I feel like that's when you get the stadium tours. This was such a random tangent. Why did I even? Okay, I'm trying to like not be self-aware when it comes to tangents. I feel like that makes it worse when you go on a tangent and you say, wait, that was a crazy tangent. Let me get back on track. I feel like that takes you out of it. So I'm just going to let my stream of consciousness go. If I go on any tangents, it's just going to happen. I hope it doesn't create a really messy podcast. It probably will. That's the bad part. But back to what I was saying about Drake and Kendrick. So Kendrick is going on a stadium tour. Good for him. He's making a lot of money. He's doing crazy numbers. He has like over 100 million monthly Spotify listeners, which is pretty crazy. Drake, on the other hand, just dropped some sexy songs for you. That's his most recent development in his career, I guess you could say. And that album was not positively received. I haven't listened to it. Actually, that's not true. I did listen to one. I listened to Nokia, and I actually think it was a pretty great song. It just is really cool. I really fuck with that beat. But the truth is, I think it in general is leaning more towards his R&B slash kind of musical, more melodic, more sensual sound, as opposed to doing more hip hop and continuing down that lane as well. Which I think his music releases prior to that have kind of been both. So it's not like he's necessarily making that turn permanently. Because you have Honestly Nevermind, which was like dance music, I think, right? And then For All the Dogs, it was hip hop. Her Loss was hip hop. He's kind of dancing between those two. And I heard some news, some little rumors out there that Drake is teasing a new album that is supposed to be like his magnum opus, like the biggest, most toughest, most awesomest, most grandest album of his career. And I can't imagine that's not gonna be hip hop. My thing is, it's just really risky for him to, you know, tease something like that so much now that he has more eyes on him. Especially when it comes to the music, like hip hop music, right? Because it's one thing to drop an album like Sexy Songstreet, which is a collab album. I feel like people tend to look at collab albums a little bit differently than like solo studio projects. Just like they're like kind of one-off side quests. But he's low-key setting himself up for failure because I feel like if he ends up, let's say he ends up releasing this album by the end of the year, like he's gonna get some judgment, some backlash for it, saying it's not that good. There's no way it's gonna be so great that everyone kind of forgets everything that happened the past year and everything that Kendrick has criticized Drake about. Which is why I think it was a smart move to go more melodic for his next album with Party Next Door, to sort of cater to the fans that aren't really paying attention to that stuff, aren't really affected by the discourse going on with his hip hop music, right? So you cater to the people that are still here, and then you try to win back everyone else. And I'm curious to see what kind of music Drake pumps out after this. It is a little disappointing to see him pump out an album that was so negatively received by so many people. But it's okay. I'm sure his fans liked it. Again, Nokia was a really fun song to listen to. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it as far as Kendrick and Drake news goes for this episode. I just thought it was really interesting to see, it's literally been a year since Like That dropped, and it's still so significant and still, ringing out through both the music industry and these individual artists' careers. And yeah, honestly, I'm just really curious to see what happens moving forward as well, because it's still so prominent 1 year from then. 2 years from then, are we still going to see Drake trying to recover? Are we still going to see Kendrick really doing this like elongated victory lap? And yeah, if Drake does release that album that he's hyping up so much to be like his greatest album of all time, will it be good? I love these narratives. I love this discourse that is going on right now, because it really does affect the way you look at music. It provides so much different context. And in some ways, I guess you could say that that's not really fair, right? Because you want to be able to listen to an album without any of that noise and see what it has to offer and see how you're able to connect with it. But at the same time, as like someone that's like, 21, I'm kind of young. I kind of like drama. I kind of like beef. I kind of like, knowing this type of stuff and seeing like the context to the music. It just makes it a lot more fun, and it really does affect how you look at it. Sometimes it'll make you like an album more, sometimes it'll make you like it less. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. That wasn't really news so much as it's just like a funny little detail. Let's just move on. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, he's kind of been under fire recently the past couple days, because for those of you that don't know, Playboi Carti released his first album in like 6 years last week. It's called Music. Apparently it was pretty good. A lot of my friends that enjoy Playboi Carti's music said it's one of his best. And Kendrick Lamar has 3 features on that album. The reason that is significant is because Kendrick Lamar is someone that, not just recently, but throughout his entire career, has always tried his best to distinguish himself as someone with good character. And he's not perfect, right? But he strives to show good morals, and he strives to distinguish himself between the people that don't do that. That was a big part. That was a big moving part of the Drake beef, was he kept calling out Drake on all these things that he does bad, such as, how he treats Adonis, or how he tried to hide Adonis from the media until it came out. And maybe he's probably not a good dad, accusing him of being a pedophile, accusing him of doing all these bad things, cease and desist on the Like That record, what you didn't like that record, stuff like that. The irony is, Playboi Carti has done a lot of questionable things that lead people to think, well, if you are going to ridicule Drake so much for being not a great dad to Adonis, look at Playboi Carti, who Iggy Azalea, his baby mom, has literally come out in the news and on stream and said, yeah, Playboi Carti is a horrible dad. He is not in my son's life at all. And as someone that's becoming a pretty big Kendrick fan, I'm in the middle of doing my Kendrick discography deep dive on my YouTube channel. I feel like this is something that you can't ignore, right? And it is kind of cool to see people address it, because Kendrick has seemingly had the Midas touch in media, and it seemed like one of those things where anything he did, the man was just perfect, right? He's on this crazy win streak. Not a single person seemed to be upset about him winning those Grammys, about him doing the Super Bowl. And while that all seems really positive, I think it goes to show that there is some harm that can come out of that as well. Because when Kendrick has an inconsistency like this, that's really what this is. It's not like he actively did anything bad. It's just like a little bit of hypocrisy. It affects people more, because people, the more things that happen that make you like someone, the higher they become in your head. Like the more you're putting them on this pedestal, especially when it comes to A-list celebrities like Kendrick Lamar. So at this point, everyone was thinking that he is so perfect, right? He's doing all this great stuff for his culture. He's pushing music forward. That when something like this happens that knocks him down the slightest bit of a peg, it ends up feeling like a lot bigger. And, relative to other controversies that other artists have gotten themselves into, this really isn't that bad. And I'm not trying to say that in diminishing any of Playboi Carti's controversies, but it's controversy by association. It's hanging out with someone that has done bad things rather than being the person that has done bad things. And I'm not trying to glaze Kendrick. I know everyone's going to say that I'm glazing Kendrick, bro. I'm not trying to glaze Kendrick. I'm just being, that's just true. How many, you watching this, you probably have at least one friend that has done some questionable stuff. And maybe you're still really close with them, but they still have done that stuff and you still don't think that stuff is okay. And you still judge them about it a little bit. Honestly, the high road is no one should judge anyone because we're all imperfect, but let's be real. Everyone kind of judges. It's just human to judge. I don't really see a reality where Kendrick addresses this, people calling him out, but it is interesting to look at, and I think it is significant and important because it brings him back down to earth. Like I was saying, he was just on the up and up. It seemed like he could do no wrong. This little inconsistency right here, this little hypocrisy reminded us that he is human. And that's kind of the problem with parasocial relationships, which we'll kind of get into a little bit later in this episode with just some other unrelated news. But people tend to put people on pedestals when they really like them. And it's not a great thing to do because, everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes. And when you put someone on a pedestal and they mess up, it feels so much bigger than it actually is because you assume that they could do no wrong. You assume that they were above that. So when you find out that these people that you're lifting higher than human are human, it's underwhelming. It's upsetting. You get disappointed. Let's talk a little bit about Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber. Right now, it's literally round 2 of them being under fire for just not being a happy couple, I guess. Justin Bieber, for those of you that don't know, which most of you probably know, was in a very long on-again, off-again type relationship. I don't really know the details because, again, it's not really my business, with Selena Gomez. And people that were fans of both of them while they were dating have kind of reverted back to, that even though they're both seemingly in happy relationships with other people, they have compiled a lot of paparazzi footage and interview footage and live stream footage that would show that Justin is still in love with Selena Gomez. I just want you to take a moment to think about that because it's so weird. Like, that's so weird. You know what I mean? And I really want you to take a moment to think about that because I'm sure all of you have seen it. This is the second time this has happened where people are not only pinning Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez against each other, saying that Justin is still in love with Selena, but also pulling out all these old receipts saying, I don't know, like Justin texted Selena Gomez 20 times on their wedding day. And Selena made a song about it or some shit. I don't know. There's so many little details. Apparently it's a 7-part documentary series just tearing Hailey Bieber to shreds. People are saying that Hailey Bieber is copying Selena Gomez's life. That Hailey Bieber has been a fan of Justin Bieber since she was a kid and has stalked him and has somehow managed to marry him. And she is the one person keeping him from his true love, Selena Gomez. We're just pretending Benny Blanco doesn't exist. I guess we're just pretending that they haven't both been in multiple relationships other than their first relationship together. Um, and there's like some funny details. I know Hailey Bieber like started a cooking show after Selena Gomez started a cooking show. Apparently they have like the same tattoo. But regardless of if any of this is true, can we just agree it's fucking weird? Like, they're married. They have a kid together, and this guy can't get away from his first girlfriend in the media. They're still saying Justin Bieber's still in love with Selena Gomez. That's weird. Look, the truth is, we don't know. It could be true. But personally, me, I don't really care. It's not my business. A really funny example that I think just goes to show the bigger picture of how commenters on social media will latch onto a narrative that they want to believe and will kind of put on these rose tinted, I don't want to say rose tinted goggles, but color tinted goggles where they only handpick through the things that help their case when ignoring so many other signs like, oh, I don't know, Justin and Hailey coming out and saying that it's not true. Every positive thing they've ever said about the relationship, which is a lot. I actually have recollection of a lot of times that they've posted about each other, but I want to specifically draw attention to Ghost, which is a song off of Justice, which is Justin Bieber's most recent album that came out, I think, in 2021. It's been a while, Justin. Let's get some more music. Come on. But he has a song called Ghost, which is really nice. It goes, if I can't be close to you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. Ooh, banger. What a great lyric. And supposedly is written about Selena Gomez. We don't really have any actual evidence of that, by the way. And on top of that, the music video is about like a grandpa dying or like some father figure. And that's always the way I've kind of seen it, is like some sort of older figure in your life that has passed away. But people are saying that it's about Selena because they broke up, which is really dramatic and like depressing. Which, like, I'm not saying that Justin Bieber is above that perspective in his music, but to say that like your ex, you can't be close to your ex, so you'll settle for the ghost of your ex. You know, isn't that kind of creepy? I don't know. Anyways, I feel like when you paint it in the light of it being someone that's passed away, and you'll settle for, you know, the remnants of what, you know, what they left you with, I feel like it's just so much more powerful. And that's the perspective I see that song, and that's why I love that song so much. But the reason I bring it up is because that's one song that people say Justin Bieber is still in love with Selena Gomez because of that song. Completely ignoring the fact that the rest of the album is probably about Hailey. There's so many different love songs. Hold On, Anyone, where he literally goes, if it's not you, it's not anyone. There's literally a song called Hailey, where I actually have some of the lyrics pulled up, so I'm just going to read it to you right now. This life is crazy, but it led me to your love. If you call on me forever, I will come, no matter what, baby. The only thing I'm certain of will be diamond when our golden days are done, no matter what, no matter what. It's only us, yeah, no matter what. The bridge. Listen to this bridge. Look in your eyes, can't believe you're mine. It's beyond an obsession, all of my attention. Nothing can compare to you. What did I do right to hold you every night? It's beyond an obsession, all of my attention. Nothing can compare to you. And that is the song titled Hailey, by the way. So I guess people are just wanting to completely disregard all of that because of a song that could vaguely be connected to Selena Gomez, kind of. Even if it makes more sense to be connected to some sort of older figure in Justin's life that passed away. You see what I mean, though, about how people will kind of just latch onto anything and form their own little narratives, even if there seems to be a lot of evidence, we'll say, that would make one believe that this is true. Why would you want to contribute to any sort of plots in the media that are trying to split up a marriage? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's just kind of sad. And all that really matters is that they're still together. It's really not our business to know the details of the relationship. I, for one, consider myself to be a Justin Bieber fan, right? I love his music. I love his older stuff. I really do. That was like the music of my childhood. And his most recent album, Justice, has some bangers. Anytime he drops something, I'll listen to it. But you can listen to someone's music and be a really big fan of them without having a parasocial relationship where you think that you know better for them than they do. And that's where I think a lot of people struggle to draw the line, particularly these days. People talk a lot of shit about paparazzi and how, you know, they're invading these celebrities' privacy. You know, can't you just let them live their life? But these same people will be the ones that see the video of Justin accidentally slamming the door on Hailey and use that as reason to believe they shouldn't be together. And they don't realize that they're the reason that the paparazzi have a job. So you can't just say, let them live their life and then consume every little bit of media about them, wanting to not let them live their life, essentially. You're the reason that the paparazzi have a job. You know what I mean? I just wanted to cover that because it's kind of a slow music week other than that. And the truth is, it is kind of weird. It's fucking weird, dude. All right. New Music Friday release radar. We got Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez's collaborative album. Isn't that so cute, guys? See, can we just take a moment to appreciate that instead of trying to pin couples against each other and trying to split couples apart? Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez are engaged and they made an album together. They both do music. They made an album together. It's so cute. I listened to the first few songs. It was okay. The intro was kind of cool. I really do like the Gracie Abrams song. It felt kind of bland when I first listened to it, but now let's do it again. The Gracie Abrams verse kind of fucking slaps, dude. I recommend that song for sure. Brittany Broski dropped a cover of "Adore You." It's her first time ever dropping anything music, and it was fucking good. Like the fuck, she actually fucking ate. Like what? It's so funny to me how we have so many artists in the world that are just kind of singers. And then you have these people that are famous for completely other reasons, but they're also just like phenomenal singers. There's levels to being a good singer, right? There's a type of good singer where you kind of need the right song to sound good. There's a type of good singer where you need to be in a specific part of your voice to sound good, a specific register to sound good, right? And then there's a type of singer that doesn't matter what the fuck they're singing. They could be singing Happy Birthday. They could be singing Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round, and they sound amazing. They sound like they could sell out a fucking opera house or whatever crazy venue that's like for good singers. And Brittany Broski is low-key on that line where she has such a great voice. I was like shocked when I heard it because she's so good. And I hope that she, ends up doing music as like a little side thing, because again, look at all the other content creators on YouTube that did music for like, I guess money. I don't know what kind of money they'd be making off music, but that are not very talented. And I'm not saying don't do that, but it is nice to see one of them that's actually like just naturally talented and a naturally good singer. So I'm really curious to see where she goes with that. Also, Kanye dropped Bully, but I don't really care. I've only heard horrible things about it, and quite frankly, all he wants is attention, so I'm not going to give it to him. Comment down below some of your thoughts to be featured in next week's video. Also, just any, conversation topics, music-related things. Just comment. We're still working on getting this podcast off the ground. We're only at like 20-something subscribers on YouTube, but I'm totally cool with that. I want to earn every single one. And if I'm being honest, I definitely need this time to sort of refine what I'm doing. Really kind of figure out how opinionated I want to be on this and how much I want to just be like an unbiased news source, even though there's no such thing as unbiased news. My song of the week is Overpass Graffiti by Ed Sheeran. I think it's great. It's just really catchy and fun. I listen to it a lot on my car ride to Connecticut. And, like driving on like a highway, and I feel it's like a perfect song for that. Not just because you'll drive under an overpass and see graffiti, but just like the drum and like the pace of it, and like the energy of the vocals in the chorus, I think just makes it like a really fun song. I thought it was pretty bland and pretty boring when I first heard it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that, but because it's on the Ed Sheeran album that is like not that popular, that is kind of known for being like bland and basic, watered down Ed Sheeran. I don't really like the album either, but that song slaps. It's fucking good. So go listen to Overpass Graffiti by Ed Sheeran. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys next time I make an episode. Bye-bye.